Welcome to Fantasy Baseball Weekly. Welcome to Fantasy Baseball Weekly. My name's Phil Naessens, and I'm the host of this weekly radio program brought to you on Max Sports Channels and BaseballPodcast.net, or Baseball Talk Radio as it's called now, I guess. And we're here to help you win your league. That's what motivates me to do this show every week. To put together enough information for you so that you can make sound decisions based on what it is that you need in order to win your league. And that's why we're here. Baseball Talk Radio is a great source, a daily source of baseball information. We have, 15, 16 different radio shows. You're going to get quite a bit of information to help you make sound decisions for your fantasy baseball team, your roster, whatever. And Max Sports Channel, well, that's the home of the Phil Naessens Show, or one of them. And my daily show, we break baseball almost every day, so you'll get quite a bit out of it. Also want to let you know that I am a writer over at Fantasy Team Advice. I do a weekly waiver wire and sleeper column. You can pick up that every Saturday. And then I also do a daily starting pitcher streamer piece where I give you a couple pitchers every Saturday, or every day actually, in hopes that you can run a stream and do your thing. We also want to let you know that we're definitely partnered up with DraftStreet.com. You can play a free roll every Saturday or every Friday by clicking the link in the show notes. And also over at PhilNaessens.com, there's a big banner there that says Play Fantasy Baseball. Click the link and give yourself a chance to win a couple $100. It's free, and it's a lot of fun, I think. Also, we're finally on iTunes. You can search for us there. I'll leave a link in the show notes. We'll see how that works out. The Stitcher app is rolling right along. We're doing pretty well on Stitcher, and I couldn't be happier. And it's all good, right? It's all good. Fantasy baseball, though, right? Fantasy baseball. What in the world is going on with injuries? Josh Hamilton. What the heck? He was raking. I mean, absolutely raking. And all of a sudden, nothing. Injured. Gone. And I'll tell you what, that was a bummer because I took a chance on him. And I was happy that I did. Because that fella is raking. Or was, but now he'll be out for 3 months. Tore up his thumb, slide into second base, or first base, or whatever. It doesn't really matter where he did it. The bottom line is he's gone. And he won't be back for quite a while. And I'll tell you what, that is a pity. That's a pity if you have him on your fantasy team because, gee whiz, that's a hit. Like I said, he was absolutely raking. But there are some guys that you can pick up along the way to help you out. Let's see here. What about Michael Morse from the San Francisco Giants? Michael's a pretty good hitter. He's getting the opportunity to play a bit. He had a couple RBIs against Arizona there. He's pretty much gotten at least one hit in almost every game. He's definitely on fire. He's batting .400. He scored 7 runs. He's hit 2 bombs. He's driven in 10 runs, and he has not stolen a base. But Michael Morse is one guy that you could probably pick up, and he will not hurt you. He is currently 40% owned, so he might make a pretty good replacement for Josh Hamilton. Let's see who else we could probably send your way. What about Yangervis Solarte from the Yankees? He's gotten off to a pretty interesting start. He's batting almost .400. He's scored 4 runs. He has not hit any home runs, but he's driven in 7 runs, and he is 30% owned in the ESPN League. What about Solarte? Take a risk on these guys. It's early in the season, but you have to replace Josh Hamilton. What do you do with him, though, right? Do you just drop him? Because it's 3 months. Well, if you have an open spot in your on your disabled list, then by all means go ahead and do that. If you don't, like me, you have to make a choice. I chose to not do anything just yet and just see what happens. Let's see who else is available, though. We have, oh goodness, who else do we have here? We have Matt Joyce from Tampa Bay. I like Matt Joyce. 391 average, 4 runs scored, 1 bomb, 6 RBIs. Not too shabby. Matt Joyce might be a good one for you, too. I like Matt Joyce. If he gets a chance to play, it's a beautiful thing. If he doesn't, you can be in big trouble. Another guy you might consider is Araji Davis. He's batting nearly 300. 3 runs scored, 1 bomb, 4 RBIs, and more importantly, he has 3 stolen bases. You all know how I feel about stolen bases. He's going to help you too, and he's only 7% owned. Gotta find somebody, right? Let's see who else we have here. I suppose, you know what, you could maybe look at Denard Spahn. He's not doing that great, but he's batting 233. 5 runs scored, no bombs, 3 ribbies, 1 stolen base. That might be a tough one, maybe. Let's see who else we can scare up for you. I would say Lucas Duda, but forget about Lucas Duda. He's a disaster. He really is a disaster. He was the starting first baseman at the beginning of the week for the Mets, and now he's back on the bench. Good grief. See who else we got here. You know, let's see. Kelly Johnson from the New York Yankees. He's batting 250. 2 runs scored, 2 bombs, 5 RBI. Not a bad pickup. You know, he'll get some rest when there's a left-hander, but it might not be a bad pickup for you. Let's see who else. What about Nick Markakis from the Baltimore Orioles? There's another one. 256 batting average, 3 runs scored, and 3 RBIs. Not a bad pickup there. A couple of players that I really like. Marlon Byrd, for example. 263 batting average, 3 runs scored, 2 bombs, 6 RBIs. Marlon Byrd might help you for a couple weeks. Not a bad pickup. Grady Sizemore's available too, 28%. He's not going to play every day though. That's the problem. But his batting average is at 308. 3 runs scored, 1 home run, 1 RBI, and 1 stolen base. Not too shabby. So there's a bunch of outfielders out there. It's not too bad. Eric Young's another one I might recommend for you too from the Mets. He's starting to turn it on a little bit. He has a 226 batting average, but he scored 5 runs, no bombs, 2 RBIs, and more importantly, he's stolen 5 bases. He's starting to get on a groove. He's probably going to play every day. And if he does, that's not a bad thing. We also have Adrian Beltre. He's going to be out for till at least the 21st of April. Let's see who we got for him. You know what? There's a bunch of them. Trevor Plouffe from the Minnesota Twins. I like Trevor. He's batting 333. He's scored 7 runs, no bombs, and he's hit 7 RBIs. Not too shabby for him. I like Plouffe. He might turn out to be pretty good. Another one you could probably pick up is Alberto Callaspo. He's 2% owned. A 444 batting average, 4 runs scored, 1 bomb, and 4 RBIs. Not a bad pickup there if you can get him, and he's going to be a multiple or dual eligible player. He's eligible at second base as well. Juan Uribe is another one who is available, quite 7.1% owned actually. 375 average currently, 3 runs scored, no bombs, 2 RBIs. And he's starting to turn it on a little bit. He's not a bad pickup either. Now let's see. I'll give you one more here. Cody Ash. That's my guy, Cody Ash. I like him a lot. He's going to be okay, I think. 259 batting average. 5 runs scored, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. He's going to be okay. He's got a bum hamstring, but once he gets playing every day, he's going to be fine. Chris Johnson's another one that I like a lot. .229 batting average right now, 2 runs scored, 1 home run, 2 RBIs. Not bad. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of opportunities out there. You just have to work that waiver wire. You have to work hard at this. Fantasy baseball is not like fantasy basketball. You can't really take your time and, you can't really just drop players in here and there because, there's a lot of intangibles involved in this, and there's a lot of things that you need to really pay attention to, and that's why it's a lot more difficult, I think, and why it's a lot more fun. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it a lot. I forgot to mention that I also write a fantasy baseball column over at Athletics Nation. I deal mostly with Oakland A's players, so you're welcome to catch that as well. All right, you know what? Up next, we're going to take a look at the closers. Here we are, one of my favorite topics, closers. If you remember last year listening to my daily show, I paid a lot of money for saves and it didn't pan out. And I learned an important lesson. It's better to err on the side of caution with closers. Either they're inconsistent, some of them, or they get hurt, and they often get replaced, and you don't get your value usually. But someone over at Athletics Nation asked about closers, relief pitchers, and they wanted somebody good. Well, here's what I can do. What I'm going to do is I've compiled a list, something very similar to what RotoWire does, where they just look at closer statuses, and they kind of rate the closers based on job security. They go from very low to medium to high to very high job security. The closers that you won't see usually screwing up too much or getting replaced and that are quite healthy, you're looking at guys like Kenley Jansen, Joe Nathan. Even though he claims he has a dead arm, he's still quite dependable. Koji Uehara from Boston, Greg Holland from Kansas City, Craig Kimbrell from Atlanta, Sergio Romo from San Francisco. These guys are basically untouchable. They're the hottest things out there right now. And if you can get a hold of one of those guys, by all means, stick them in your lineup every day. They're not going to hurt you too much. Another group of guys who are right there, kind of like a second tier, I would say, would be someone like Trevor Rosenthal from St. Louis, Grant Balfour from Tampa Bay, Jonathan Papelbon from Philadelphia, Jason Grilli from Pittsburgh, Steve Cishek from Miami, and Glenn Perkins from Minnesota. These are also guys that you could probably go after if you can. I mean, obviously the draft's over, but you won't find them on the waiver wire, that's for sure. But honestly speaking, these are guys who probably aren't going to let you down. More than likely, they're not going to lose their job, and that's a good thing too. Some players right there, like a third tier, like a medium, would be someone like Ernesto Frieri from the Angels. His name always comes up. He's always on the chopping block, but yet he never goes anywhere because he seems to come through. Addison Reed from Arizona, same type of deal. Fernando Rodney from Seattle, same type of deal. Rafael Soriano from Washington, same kind of guy. One of those guys you hear a lot of rumors about, but they wind up keeping their job. And Joaquim Soria from Texas, he's another one that if you do pick him up, you're probably going to get some value for him and value out of him. Now, guys who, maybe are in big trouble, or not in big trouble, but in trouble, and in some places could lose their job. You're looking at Houston Street from San Diego, Sergio Santos from Toronto. He's just in there for Casey Jansen right now. John Axford from Cleveland, who's actually having a pretty decent season thus far. LaTroy Hawkins from Colorado. Now, LaTroy Hawkins, I think LaTroy Hawkins is actually quite available here. Let's look that up real quick. These are guys that, you can pick up and maybe get something for them, get something out of them. LaTroy Hawkins was a great pickup last season. A tremendous pickup for me. I thought he was. He played really well. Yeah, he's owned in just 26% of fantasy leagues. So there's a guy right there that he's available. And you can jump on him, and he'll probably pick up a save or two for you. Tommy Hunter from Baltimore. He's probably another one that you can pick up pretty easily. Let's see. I would think that you can, actually. And if you can, he's going to help you. It's better than nothing, I suppose. And that's kind of the way we look at these things. Yeah, he's 96% owned, Tommy Hunter. But these are guys, though, you have to also be careful with because they can lose their job tomorrow. Guys who are basically with one foot in the grave and another on the banana peel, excuse me, Francisco Rodriguez, Sean Kelly, Jose Veras. Jose Veras is in big trouble, by the way. If you have Jose Veras on your team, you better start looking elsewhere. Jose Valverde. Bobby Parnell's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. Valverde's come in and got 2 saves this week. So it's important to kind of keep an eye on these things. Matt Lindstrom from the Chicago White Sox. Jonathan Broxton from Cincinnati, another one. He's on the bubble because, our Aroldis Chapman is injured. So he's fighting to keep his job. He hasn't proven himself yet. So he's in the trick bag. He's got to pitch hard every night. Josh Fields from Houston. Luke Gregerson from Oakland. Now, there's guys that you want to keep an eye on. These guys can be gone tomorrow. You never know. For example, if Jose Valverde gets hurt, Kyle Farnsworth will probably be the closer. These are things that you have to pay attention to and understand and familiarize yourselves with. Because even though you don't want to pay for saves, you don't want to lose that category either. And I think that's very important, that we don't lose that category. And that's important. So keep an eye on these guys. All right, you know what? Let's take a look now at the added and drop list. Who's been the most added and dropped this past week? I'm using an ESPN roster. If it'll ever pop up. You know how the computers can be, especially in Greece. But I guess I can't complain. I do have internet where I live for the first time. Let's see here. Added and dropped list. Here are the most added and dropped baseball players this week in the fantasy ranks. If it ever pops up, but it should be all right. Anyhow, here we go. Come on now. Here we go. Most added. Let's do that first. Charlie Blackmon from Colorado. That's not a bad pickup. 74% owned, so if you want Charlie Blackmon, you better grab him because he's going to be 100% owned quick. Angel Pagan, 92% owned. Just jumped like 70%. Melky Cabrera jumped 61%. Tim Hudson jumped 55%. He's gotten 2 big wins. Mark Burley's jumped 52 points. Again, 2 big wins. That's all it takes. Emilio Bonifacio jumped 40 points. The second baseman for the Cubs is getting her done. And as long as he gets it done, he'll be there. We talked about Michael Morris earlier in the show. Jumped 33 points because he's stroking the ball. Scott Kazmir, 2 wins, good for 32 points, up from last week. Trevor Plouffe, 33% owned, 30-point jump. Wow. D. Gordon's a guy I like a lot, 56% owned. If you need a shortstop second baseman, he's your guy, I think. And he's somebody that I've been touting pretty much, and I'm going to continue to tout until he's about 70% owned, and then I have to find somebody else. Sergio Santos from Toronto, the reliever. Francisco Rodriguez, Jose Valverde. Here's a starter for you, Tyler Skaggs from the Angels. He's going to pitch against the Mets later today. I'm recording this on Friday. I won't publish this till Saturday, but there's a lot of good ones. Yan Gomes, the catcher from Cleveland, 31% owned. He jumped 17 points. Michael Pineda, what's up with that pine tar on his hand? As long as they don't kick him to the curb and catch him, pick him up. 13% jump. He's 39% owned. Now, some guys who've taken a fall. Grady Sizemore dropped 30%. Why? Because he doesn't play every day, that's why. Mark Teixeira injured again. He's down to now 70% owned, a 29% fall off from last week. Colby Rasmus, that's a tough one, because you all know he can hit. We all know it. We've seen him do it. He just can't seem to get her going. And We all take risks with him. And, well, he doesn't live up to our expectations. And we kick him to the curb. And for good reason. Now, against Houston on the 10th, he did pretty well. 3 of 4, 2 runs scored, 1 bomb, 1 RBI. But that's basically all he's done all season. They have a right to kick him to the curb. Jose Veras is another one who's been basically dropped like a hot potato this week as well. He walked 4 batters on Sunday, and that was it. And he's just had a tough time. His whip is at 2.63, his ERA at 10.13, and he's had 3 strikeouts and 1 blown save in 2 2/3 innings. Jose Veras is in big trouble. Who knows? Pedro Strop is the guy you want to probably look at there. Another reliever for you. Ubaldo Jimenez dropped down to 20% owned. He had a tough couple outings. You know, he's a big strikeouts guy, though. I think sometimes people drop these guys a little too quick. He's 0-2. He struck out only 10 guys. His ERA is like 6.75. His whip is almost 2.0. He's had his struggles. There's no question. His control is just not there. Strikeouts are just not there. But I have him on one of my teams, and I think I'm going to hang on to him for another week or two and see what happens. You know, don't forget he got a late start this spring. They didn't sign till like a week before the season. So give him a chance. Another one who fell like a rock was Ryan Howard. He's batting .200 with 4 runs scored, 1 home run, and 3 RBIs. He is now 64% owned. We all want the best for him. We remember what he could do before he got injured. And he just hasn't done that since. Evan Gattis is another one who's been dropped a lot. He's actually owned in 73% of ESPN leagues. He hasn't had exactly the greatest season. He's not playing every day. He's dual eligible, though. In a deeper league, you almost have to pick him up. But in a 10-team standard, yeah, it makes sense. He's only hit 1 bomb. He's only driven in 1 run. He's only scored 2 runs. And his batting average of .200 is not too good. Chris Carter was someone I was so high on this season, and he has just been awful. Really awful. He's batting .161, 1 home run, or no home runs, 1 run scored, 1 RBI. He's taken a collar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times this season already, man. That's just not good. He is dual eligible, too, as an outfielder and a first baseman. Tough call to make. Another one who got dropped, and I don't think I would have done this, is Bartolo Colon. Colon picked up a win this week against Atlanta. He had lost a pretty tough one against Washington the week before. He's 1-1. He struck out 9 guys. His ERA is at 2.08, and his whip is at 1.15. And how in the world people are dropping him, I have no idea. But they are doing it, and, well, if you need a starter, there's your guy, Bartolo Colon. He's 59% owned. He's having a decent season. You know what? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. Anyhow, you know what? I got to tell you, it's been a lot of fun bringing the show to you. Next week, hopefully, I'll have a guest on, make it a lot easier for all of us. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to the show every week. I want to thank you for taking the time to download the Stitcher app and make us one of the top shows on Stitcher. Like I said before, we're on iTunes now, so get over there and subscribe. And if you want, leave a comment about the show. We're also on YouTube, as you know. Head on over there. You can follow me on Twitter at FlashTennis31. You can find my writings over at Fantasy Team Advice. Daily for pitcher streamers. Weekly waiver wire every Saturday. Every Saturday I do a Oakland A's-centered fantasy report. It's all good. It's over at athleticsnation.com. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/fantasybaseballweekly. Until next week, my name is Phil Naessens. Good luck this week. Have a blast. And win your league.
Do you know your fantasy sports? Would you like to make money at it? DraftStreet.com and the Phil Naessens Show would like to help you get started making money playing fantasy sports today. And we'll even give you the chance to get started making money today for free. On me. That's right. All you have to do is head on over to PhilNaessens.com or visit the show notes for this show. Click the Draft Street image at the top of the page and start making money playing fantasy sports at DraftStreet.com today.
If you like baseball, you should be checking out BaseballPodcasts.net. It's one of the best places you can go on the internet to listen to independent baseball talk shows. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on our radio player that can be heard around the world. So won't you tune in and give us a listen at BaseballPodcasts.net. You can also listen to the great Phil Naessens Show here. See you there at BaseballPodcasts.net.
Hi, this is Phil Naessens from This Week in Tennis and the Phil Naessens Show. Max Sports Channels offers the best in sports talk radio, as well as great music 24 hours a day. It's my daily destination, and I hope it's yours. The sports talk begins each and every day at 3 p.m. and ends around 9 p.m. Special programming on the weekends, and in between all that, the hottest music on the internet. That's Max Sports Channels. Make it your daily destination.
Hi, this is Gary Mack of Mets Musings, and I hope you'll join me each and every week as I recap all of the comings and goings-on in New York Mets baseball. I'll have guests on from all across Mets Nation, giving their insights and analysis on the New York Mets. And you can follow me on Twitter at MetsMusings1, as well as on Facebook. The group name is Mets Musings. So tune in weekly to the Mets Musings, available at MetsMusings.com, Stitcher.com, iTunes.com, iHeartRadio, and of course, BaseballTalkRadio.com, the home of great baseball talk shows.
Brewtown Sports is your source for Brewers news and notes. Join Mr. Brewtown as he keeps you up to date on all the happenings of your Milwaukee Brewers and Major League Baseball. Follow the show on Facebook and Twitter, Brewtown Sports. Listen 24/7 at BrewtownSports.podomatic.com.
Stitcher Smart Radio is an award-winning, free mobile application that lets you listen to your favorite shows and discover the best of news, entertainment, and sports on demand. Now you don't even need a Wi-Fi or a cell connection to listen to shows like The Phil Naessens Show. Never miss another show. It's real simple. Just go to Stitcher.com and download the free app today. And never miss another Phil Naessens Show.